Welcome, everybody, to the PHDJ podcast. My name is Mike.
And I am Joe Bunn.
How are you, Joe?
I'm good, man.
Yeah?
I'm good.
We have a great topic today. We're going to be talking about music, and I think that's one of the things. You and I always love our music-themed shows, and they seem to really resonate with our listeners. But first, I want to mention two things. First of all, I look back on my Facebook memories every morning, and it looks like 7 years ago this week, you and I were hosting the first ever workshop.
I sent that to you. I sent that picture to you. Yeah.
So tip of the cap to, first of all, I will always honor those first attendees because they had complete faith in you and I. We didn't have a marketing material. We didn't have a reputation. And I think if I remember, we sold about 20 seats. So, and that was the famous one. I know we've told this story. You said at one point how famous you were in Raleigh, and everybody even like kind of chuckled in the room because it was really a pompous statement. And then literally hours later, we're walking to a restaurant and it was a beautiful night. People were dining outdoors, and we walked by this table and three women were like, "Joe, how are you? Come on over." And you knew them. And it was,
and they were super young as well. Remember?
Yeah, and we all swore you paid them to be there, man. You set that up.
And also when you checked into the hotel, which is not, it's like one of those tiny,
Miss
North Carolina was there.
That's right. We got those pictures
with her sash on and everything. And you were like, right. Bro, what's going on right now? I was like, I don't know.
How small of a town is this?
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's 7 years ago. And I know you will never go back and listen to our old shows, but I went back last week and I listened to all of our shows from this time last year. And I mean, I'll say this. We were both pretty wrong about how this virus was not going to extend past the summer and into the fall. But I also want to give us both a little bit of credit, man. You and I remember each week early on, psyching ourselves up to actually do a podcast when we were like, our business was cratering and there was no good news.
Right.
But we did it every week. And I also mentioned at one point, I said to you, you were going on Facebook Live every single afternoon at one point. Do you remember that? I guess in the Vault group. Because I said that. I said, well, what are the things that are coming up? I said, you're doing Facebook Live every day. What questions are coming up? So, man, tip of the cap to you and also a little bit to us for just, trying to be to be positive forces during what really was the worst. Yeah, what really was the worst time in our industry.
No question.
And it's coming to an end. It's not over yet, but it's certainly, I don't know if you're seeing it in your business, but it's certainly we're showing. So I've done gigs 2 weekends in a row. I feel like I'm working DJ. I got another one this Saturday. So
awesome, man.
Yeah.
I think my restart is April 3rd, but I was at a NACE meeting last night in person.
Wow.
There were probably 31 people there. I think about 11 raised their hands that they had been vaccinated. Randy got vaccinated yesterday, his first shot. Apparently here in North Carolina, if you're in the events industry, you're eligible. So I need to go online this morning and start doing a little more digging around to find out where I can get that.
Yeah, I think New Jersey, I don't think it's yet, but I think it's coming up.
Right.
Where food and hospitality workers, which I think
I'm counting myself. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So, so this topic really comes from my gig a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I was doing a wedding and it wasn't great. It was a smallish wedding and I was kind of struggling. Other than Mr. Brightside, this client had not given me any music from that early 2000s rock. What do they call it? Pop punk.
I call it pop punk.
Yeah. And I played Mr. Brightside in my opening set and it kind of didn't go over. So I wasn't thinking along those lines. And then about an hour left in the night, the groom came up and he said, "Can you play Dear Maria, Count Me In?" And I'm like, sure. I'd almost finished the bride's request at that point. I drop it, packs the dance floor.
Oh, my.
Bride finally gets out. Bride had been reluctant to be on the dance floor. She gets out there, groom, all their bridal party, bunch of people. So that was my opening. Now I'm like, okay,
now I'm on.
This genre will work. And so then I ripped a 40-minute set of that genre.
Mike.
And I put up on...
Did you hit record?
I did not, but I do have.
Oh, a mix you made, right?
Well, no, I have the titles from my Serato history. So if you want it, I can go through it. But the most important. So I put up on Facebook. I just on the drive home, I said, "Dear Marie, count me in." And Ocean Avenue were my best songs tonight. And David Sporn said, "You guys need to do a show about that genre." So David, thank you for the idea. We're always looking for good ones. It's kind of stemmed from that post. So Joe, when I proposed it to you, you kind of said this is in your wheelhouse. So did you love this music when it was?
I still love this music. Yeah. I ride around and listen to it. I listened to it back then. I like the new people that are doing it. I just posted last week that this kid, Mod's son, green-haired, it looks like a 20-some-year-old, like Machine Gun Kelly. They definitely run together. Like those two albums are probably my favorite thing that's come out in the last 6 months. You know what I mean? So I still even listen to the quote-unquote new pop punk kids, guys. And yeah, I love that music.
Cool. So listen, if you know me, you know I love music history. So I'm just going to give you a quick thumbnail sketch of the music history of this. Punk music goes back to the 70s. The Ramones, really, most people say the Ramones were the first band. It never really got that popular as far as chart influence.
You mean in the United States or just period?
In the U.S. and really even in England too. I mean, it was bigger in England, but it was never really that dominant. You know, Sex Pistols and the Clash were kind of like the Ramones contemporaries. But then punk music really kind of fades away. It evolved into a lot of that 80s new wave. It got electronica, but it really kind of faded away until the mid 90s when it came out of the LA area, specifically with Offspring and Green Day. Those were the two bands, and Bad Religion too. Those were the bands that really kind of thrust this music back, and more successful than it had been in its first incarnation. Because like I said, the everybody glorifies that Ramones album, but nobody bought it. Like nobody bought it in 1976. It didn't sell anything. So everybody owns it nowadays. But and so Green Day kind of breaks through, and then really what we call pop punk. Most musical historians circle the Blink 182 album. What is it? Enema of the State.
Enema of the State,
as the big album that kind of put this. And that album, I think, it might have gone to number one, but it certainly had some huge hits in it. And so that began this era of this music being super, super popular.
Interesting.
And so why are we playing it nowadays? Because the kids back then, if you were 13 in 2000 or 15 in 2004, this is what you
30 or
sang along to in your driving to high school or chill, and then this is now you're getting married. So that's why a few years ago the 90s pop music was huge, and now we're kind of evolving into this. So that's why this topic is super
I'm happy
important.
to welcome it back, man. I told you about Ramon's story, right? When I was a kid.
I don't think so. If you did, I don't remember.
60 seconds. So my parents gave me a trip to Europe in 1994 when I graduated college. That was my trip, and I went. I kind of went by myself, Mike, to be honest with you. So I get on a plane, I fly to England, and then I had to get on a bus and go from Heathrow to, I don't remember the other, Gatwick, whatever the other airport in England is, because I was going to Amsterdam was my first actual starting point.
Right.
And so I fall asleep on this bus, number one, because I was so jet lagged. They wake me up, and I'm like, I stagger through the airport. I get on the plane. It's a small plane to Amsterdam. And dude, I sit down, and as soon as I sit down, I look up, and the freaking Ramones are getting on this plane.
Wow. And
regular
they are so
coach,
identifiable.
and they are Joey Ramone is 7 feet tall with stupid bangs.
He looks like Howard Stern.
Absolutely.
Tall, lanky,
and they are
hair.
So already pre-Amsterdam, they don't know where they are. Their managers holding their passports, their money, everything, and just kind of ushering them like babies, basically, to their seat. In coach, just regular seats.
Wow.
And I was like, holy.
So what year would this have been?
94.
Yeah.
94.
Yeah. So they were still road warriors back then.
And man, they were going, or either just going to get drugs.
I always want to know, like, I wish I could know what their net worth was. Like, did they make enough money? Were they super rich? Were they, you know what I mean? I don't know. They never really sold that many records, so maybe not. And I don't think they ever really toured like hugely. I think all of their shows were probably on that club theater level.
Not to mention the shows were probably like 35 minutes long.
Yeah.
Like weren't the songs were like
every one of their
70
songs
seconds.
a minute and a half. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So why don't we start with some of your favorites from this era, from this genre? What if you had the same situation where Dear Maria, Count Me In opens up the window for you? Give me one or two or a couple that you would have then gone with.
Which ironically, like I don't remember rocking to that song or ever playing that song. I had it in my
band,
library.
by the way, is All Time Low.
Yep.
It's from 2008, so it's kind of the late era of this pop punk. But yeah, I mean, it certainly fits into that genre. And again, for me, that was the clue. And let's face it, as programmers, that's what we do, right? We look for clues. This genre's working. This genre didn't work. So that gave me the flash, and then I ran with it. So how would you have fed that fire?
Definitely, like you did, Ocean Avenue would have definitely been soon after. I can't remember do you remember the tempo of that Dear Maria? You got your laptop there.
It's so funny.
Or did you not mix?
I don't
did you
care
just kinda...
much about tempo of these songs because most of these songs end cold and B start with a very identifiable hook. So I mean, I'm looking at the
history
at what I threw down, right? I went from Dear Maria, Count Me In to Ocean Avenue. So Dear Maria, Count Me In, it says 90, but that probably it's a 180 because it's a really fast beat. Ocean Avenue is 174. Then I played the anthem, which is a 181. But then I dropped all the way down to Dance Dance, which that's 114, but I think that's a double. So that's probably 228 because that's a frantic, So I really don't get obsessed with BPM on these songs because most of them I'm slamming together.
I get it. Okay. Yeah. So definitely Ocean Avenue, the anthem, 1,000% would have made its way in there. And then my go-to, even when I play on Twitch, people are like, dude, how many versions of this do you have? Sugar, We're Going Down will forever be probably one of my top 20 songs of all time. Like for me, not even as a DJ, but just like, I'm having a shitty day. Like, let me pull out Fall Out Boy.
Yeah. I don't know why I went with Dance Dance. That's a Fall Out Boy song. I don't know why I went with Dance Dance and not Sugar We're Going Down. I didn't play Sugar We're Going Down in that set. I probably should have. In hindsight, although if I remember, Dance Dance went over great, so I didn't miss. But yeah, that Sugar We're Going Down is a great song.
I mean, Mike, that 40 minutes. I mean, those people must have been exhausted.
Yeah. It timed out perfectly because they wanted to cut cake just as like I had squeezed them and I was ready to change genres or slow it down.
Right.
And then Mater D was like, let's do cake. So I was like, perfect. Thank you. Yeah.
Damn, dude. That's I love that. Let's see. Sidebar. I'm trying to see what pool it came from. So Ocean Avenue, there's a blend or a mashup with OPP. Mike, phenomenal.
Really?
And it's on DMS. I'm looking at it right now.
I'm not a big mashup guy, but I'll listen to
this one. If you wanted to really mix it, because it's literally and it's like the key is right. It's not a hot mess. It never like travels off key to where you're like, ooh, I got to get out of this. It's a great one.
Right.
Just that was a side note. What about, do you ever play I Write Sins, Not Tragedies? Panic at the Disco?
I don't. That's not a big one for me. I don't think I like the tempo changes in that.
Right.
I mean,
you know how that band is.
It definitely fits into this genre. But yeah, that's not one. I don't even have that. I have a playlist of these songs that's like 80 songs. And I basically have it set up in what I consider to be the best to like the least relevant. And that's not even in that playlist.
Yeah, I like it.
So that's one that you play? Yeah.
I do. I mean, I just love the, closing the goddamn door. Like, it just, people get super hype on that.
I'm sticking it in that playlist now.
Yeah. Okay. Does Stacy's mom qualify in this?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right. Stacy's mom is probably more pop than rock or punk.
It feels very poppy.
And listen, this is one of those, if we hope our listeners get involved and comment.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Dave Lander's yelling at his phone right now going, no, don't play Stacy's mom. But again, opening hook on that song, that's one of the reasons why I don't mix it. Because that opening guitar grind, it's just so you don't want to lose out on that. So
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Right.
That was part of the set. I did Stacy's mom in that set.
Throw a couple, Mike.
So after Dance Dance, I went into My Own Worst Enemy.
Yeah, that's
which
on my list.
Crushes. I mean,
Dude.
that song, again, opening riff. And again, I went from the cold ending of Dance Dance right into My Own Worst Enemy. Then I went into Stacy's Mom. And then I think I've mentioned this one before. This is one that I love going to. It's a kind of a deeper track, but The Darkness, I Believe in a Thing Called Love.
Oh, wow.
I find
to me, again, almost is like, I mean, we'll allow it for the show, but this was like almost like the resurgence of when people started trying to be like hair metal again.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? Versus like
it might not fit into that pop punk. Yeah,
right.
There's
like the Blink 182 guys would have wanted to fight the Darkness.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And
like,
Darkness probably would have won that fight, I'm imagining. If your name is Darkness, you're fucking winning that fight.
That guy was very skinny though, but everybody in that genre was very skinny, to be honest.
Then I went into All the Small Things.
Yeah.
By Blink 182.
Sure.
So that's, I mean, to me, that's the definitive track of that. And then I guess I did Beat Mix because I went from that into The Middle by Jimmy Eat World.
God.
Which is probably,
Banger.
I guess, more of an emo track than, but again, I think
on my
certainly,
list.
yeah, it fits in. And then, and I know I've mentioned this as a deep track. I went into Chelsea Dagger by the Fratellis, which I just love that. And they loved it. They ate that track up.
I'm adding that to mine now.
Yeah, that's a really, really good one. Again, a little bit of a deeper track, but if you have we talked about this in a previous show. I get creative when I know a group loves a specific genre.
Sure.
And that's when I go, oh, I can dig a little deeper here.
Right.
And that's one. I wouldn't throw this in. Like if they had been tepid about this, I wouldn't have thrown it in. But once I saw, they love this genre, I went with that.
Are we allowing girls in here?
I've got a couple, yeah.
Okay, Avril? Is Avril complicated?
Avril, I didn't play Avril in this.
Okay.
But what is it, Skater
Boy? Or mine was complicated. I've got a version of complicated that has the Scooter made with kind of a hip-hop beat behind it.
Yeah, I mean, I was reading about this genre before we went live because I just wanted to do something. And I didn't know this. They called Avril Lavigne the queen of pop punk.
Damn.
So, I mean, I didn't realize she had actually
sidebar,
that title. Yeah.
When Kaylee was here last week, she was like, listen to this song. Avril Lavigne and that guy Mod Sun that I was talking about at the top of the show. Song's called Flames. Unbelievable. She sounds the same. And then Google Avril Lavigne current photo. She has not aged a day.
Good for her.
So then I was like, oh, that's my future ex-wife. And then, though, I went back and found out that she used to be married to that dude from Nickelback. And I was like, oh, man, she lost some
So
points.
that ruined it for you?
Yeah, ruined it. All right, anyway. So I did want to tell you a funny story I had when you said The Middle, which is also on my list. I love Jimmy Eat World, period.
That's funny. I think that's the only song I could name by them. I don't think I could give you another Jimmy Eat World
There's
song.
a song called Sweetness that I play sometimes.
Okay.
It's like, give me that. Oh.
I'm actually looking on my hard drive right now.
That's probably on there. So, and I think I've told, it's funny, Mike, we've done this podcast now for how many years? 3 something?
God, it's over 4 years, isn't it?
Oh, is it over 3 or 4?
Yeah. Dude, we're in the 200s category, divided by 52. We're over 4 years.
Oh, shit, you're right. It's 4.
Yeah.
So, I've told the story, but bear with me. So, that song, I'm sorry.
The Middle?
Ah, damn it. Hold on. Oh, Unworst Enemy. Right, Lit. So we're at dinner one night. This is at the beach. It was my buddy Ainsley. They're both, we've been on the boat all day. They're wrecked. And he starts talking about, I love that song, Cars in the Front Yard, Blink 182. And I was like, ooh.
Oh, you've told this story.
Yeah, about Blink 182.
Yeah.
So we're screaming at each other in this restaurant.
Didn't you win like hundreds of
dollars? No. I said, I said, you're a software salesman. I'm a DJ. Don't do this. I said, and he had tons of money, like stupid. And I was like, $1,000, dude. It's not Blink 180. And this was nobody had music on their phone.
Right.
Blah, blah. It was literally, we had so I'm like, we're going to get back to the condo and we're going to pull out the iPod and we're going to play this song and you're going to lose $1,000 and we're going to the ATM. You're paying me tonight. Screaming. Waitress is like, guys, you guys settle down over here. Get back to the condo. Go get the OG iPod, turn the click wheel, hits play, and sure enough, he had downloaded it from like LimeWire or some bootleg site, and his was labeled as Blink 182. And I was like, Man, I couldn't take his money by default. But then I
nice.
pull mine out. I'm like, look, bro, it's lit.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I told you when Napster first started, the biggest
Napster,
was Dancing in the Moonlight.
Yes.
Was labeled as Van Morrison.
Yes.
And so everybody thought that song was Van Morrison. And
instead of King Harvest?
I basically stopped correcting people. I'm like, yeah. Because clients would ask for that song and you'd go, oh, let me guess, you download from Napster.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
So yes, definitely women in this. And I've got one more. I played it in that.
Yeah.
Kelly Clarkson, Since You've Been Gone.
Dude, I love.
Yes.
I didn't know if we were going to allow it in that realm, but I love that track.
I allow it. It's 2004. It's kind of an angry Kelly Clarkson. I play it in that set, and it went over great. And like I said, if this crowd is indicative, they love that. They were singing along to it.
I saw that guy Girl Talk play one time at a venue way after that song had come out, and he dropped that, and it was havoc.
Oh, I'd love to see that guy live. He is amazing.
My God, he smashes.
Amazing. Yeah. Give me more.
Oh, Semi-Charmed Life, Third Eye Blind.
Absolutely.
I mean, probably, again, one of my top favorite songs ever. Got several different versions of it. I got one that starts just almost like a cappella, I think Scooter made. I love that.
Right.
My Own Worst Enemy, we talked about that.
Yep.
The Middle, Jimmy Eat World. I usually go to What's My Age Again versus your Blink-182 call. What was yours? What was your pool?
My Blink is All the Small Things, right?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I usually go What's My Age Again for some reason.
Yeah.
I mean, that was on that Enema of the State record as well.
That's in my playlist. I call it Aughts Rock. But yeah, I have All the Small Things way higher than What's My Age Again. Yeah. But here's the thing about What's My Age Again, and I note this on any song that starts this way. Yeah. That song starts slow.
That's true.
And then builds up, unless you have like a remix of it, right?
Oh yeah, it does.
And I love songs like that because if I've had success with a genre, and I did this at that event, later in the evening after cake cutting and everything else, I started a set with what's that other killer song that I love so much? All the things I've done.
Oh yeah, do you play that?
And that's it. I played that in that set or at that gig. All these things that I've done, because it starts slow and it slowly builds, and by the time you get to the I'm not a soul, but I'm not a soul.
Yeah, I love that.
It brought the house down, and that kicked off my second of my little Aughts Rock set that I played at that gig. So, and I had that noted in my Serato. Whenever a song starts slow, I write that after the title. Like, for example, another one in my playlist here is Welcome to the Black Parade by My Chemical Romance.
I was going to say that, yeah.
And again, that's another one that builds. Now, there's probably remixes out there that just go right into. But I like a song that starts slow from time to time, because you can start it coming out of dinner, you can start it coming out of a slow song, and people recognize the hook, and then it slowly builds into your dance set.
Oh, yeah. Somebody told me. That's the other killer song that I play as well. Did you ever play that? Somebody told me that you had a boyfriend. That I play that over the one you play. Of course, we didn't really mention Brightside other than at the top of the show, but
yeah, I mean, that's definitely in there.
Yeah. You ever play All American Rejects? Like Dirty Little Secret? Or,
they're in here.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Gives You Hell. That's the one I played.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too. They had like 3, 4. I mean, they were on a run there.
It's funny. That song always reminds me. Kelly volunteers for Big Brothers Big Sisters, or at least she used to. And her first Little, they loved that song, and they would always sing that. Yeah. And I think she has video of the two of them driving around singing that song. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. I'm just kind of flipping through some of my stuff real quick and see if there was anything I messed out. That Bowling for Soup, 1985, you remember that track? That went over one night for me.
I do, yeah. You know what? I'm going to add that to my list. Yeah. I don't think I have that in
That's
here.
That's a good one. Let's see. All American Rejects, like I said, they had several. Let's see.
Bowling for Soup. Yeah, I'm just adding that to my list now.
Man, I think that's most of mine. I do have Since You've Been Gone in that list as well.
I have Sum 41, the Hell song. Not a huge one. I have it buried a little bit deeper. But again, that's one I know I've played it when when a crowd really, really loves this genre,
Yeah, and then I think I play Fat Lip by them. That's a good one if you don't have that.
Yeah.
And then, but ironically, we haven't mentioned Offspring. I definitely have dropped Get a Job. Why don't you get a job before?
To me, if I get an Offspring request, Self-Esteem is the one I reach for. I mean, that's just the go-to, and that's from 1994, so it's a little bit early. Like I said, that was from that first when punk started its kind of a resurgence, and so I mean, I don't know.
And Green Day, like what year was Dookie?
Absolutely,
remember that record?
94, same thing. Dookie was When I Come Around and Basket Case.
Yes, huge.
Are both 94.
So early. Okay.
A little bit earlier. So I don't know if it would have connected with the crowd that was going crazy too. Because I mean, think about it. Dear Maria, Count Me In, and When I Come Around are 14 years apart.
Sure.
So if they were in high school for Dear Maria, Count Me In, they were in diapers for Green Day. Now they might have loved it, but that might have been too. It might have gone too far from them as far as genre.
Too back.
Yeah. We mentioned the anthem, right?
Yep, we mentioned the anthem.
I also have I Don't Want to Be in Love, Dance Floor Anthem as a good Charlotte song.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I definitely reached for the anthem first, but that's in here.
Yep.
Kryptonite by Three Doors Down is really poppy, but I had that in here as well.
I'd had that as pretty straight ahead rock did you where would you put, and I don't remember the year. That's why I'm bad at these music episodes, Mike, because I'm sucked with the year. Smash Mouth. Somebody, where do we put them? Would you put them with this?
Fit into here. Yeah.
I mean, I would drop it in this set. Especially, I've got a couple different versions where it's like, it starts with almost like a beat that somebody added, and then it goes into that kind of 808 and goes boom, and then he just sings Somebody, and then it picks back up. Pa, to pa, to pa. I don't know. I would drop that in there somewhere,
I think I'm seeing that's from 99. So that's certainly from that early.
Mike's allowing it.
Yeah, I'm definitely allowing it. Yeah.
Oh, and somebody dropped in the comments "In Too Deep" by Sum 41. I love that track.
Okay.
Because I'm in too deep and I'm trying. Yeah.
How about I've got the Vines Ride in this.
Oh, I've never played that.
And I've also got Finger 11 Paralyzer, which is a harder song.
Yeah, that was hard. I remember that track.
Yeah.
I used to rock.
And I know this is really poppy, but Weezer Beverly Hills has a great hook. It's also, I like it because it's 88 beats per minute. So if I'm in a
true
hip-hop,
88 or double?
Yeah, it's a true 88. No, it's a true 88. So if I'm in a hip hop set, I can kind of pull out.
I'll allow it. I'm allowing it.
Good. Thank you.
Those are good. I don't know that Vines record.
Yeah. I'm also going to count Jet, Are You Gonna Be My Girl?
Yeah, I have that in this kind of rock playlist, even though it's more, again, like that's kind of rides that line of like straight ahead rock or like wanting to be like one of the old 70s bands. Like The Darkness was trying to be, I don't know who they were trying to be. Jet was definitely trying to be somebody.
Yeah.
Like a 70s rock.
Yeah, I've got Bowling for Soup in here. Girl, All the Bad Guys Want. I don't even know if I've ever played that, but I have that in mind. Yeah. And Less Than Jake, The Science of Selling Yourself Short. I've got that in this playlist as well.
Yeah.
Now,
I remember that band.
If this crowd loves that era and genre, have you ever ended with Linkin Park in the end?
Yes, or I don't know if again this year may be off.
Because to me, I know it's kind of dark. It talks about death and everything else, but
so is Papa Roach though. Last Resort, cut my life into pieces. This is, dude, people go mental over that.
I got to add that too.
I mean, they want to punch the monitor off the DJ booth. Like if you're going heavy, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're going to commit to going like full into, that kind of realm. Yeah, Last Resort.
I have In the End in there just because I've done that in the past.
I had that one.
First of all, I've been asked for it sometimes,
right?
But I've also done it in the past where I'm like, okay, this group loves that genre, so I'm going to end with that.
God, I love that band. I have the best video, man, from a concert. God, I miss concerts. Me on the front row, right? Maybe not. I mean, not in long ago history. I mean, I was a grown ass man. And I jumped over my friend's back, and I'm holding the camera with my right hand and holding his back with this hand. And I'm in Chester's face, and he's screaming. He's in the pit. And I got to find it. I'm going to text it to you later, and you're going to be like, dude, what is wrong with you?
Pre-pandemic, right?
Yes,
there, man.
right. I'm on Kevin's back. Chester is screaming, and I'm holding the camera overhead like I'm, man.
That's
so
great.
Good. God,
did we mention Seven Nation Army?
You know, but we should have.
I don't know if we mentioned that.
Is that long ago? Is that record
2003?
Damn, dude.
Yeah, according to yeah.
That was like baby Jack White. Like, no, but who is this guy? Jack White.
Right.
Damn, this was fun, Mike.
This was good, I think.
Yeah, man. So next week, Mike and I were talking. We're going to talk a little bit more about beat mixing or beat matching, however you want to talk about it. If you need to be doing it, if you should be teaching your DJs, if you're a multi-op, just kind of the not the intricacies of it, but how things have really changed in the last, I don't know, Mike, what do you think you've been on Serato? A decade? No, you haven't, because you switched kind of late, right?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean I wasn't beat mixing.
No, I know that's true, but I'm saying just let's incorporate it into the era of Serato.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, what I've said is once I made the transition to this software, anyone who's not beat mixing is just not even trying, because this software, and I'm not even talking about the sync button.
Sure.
But just this software does so much of the visual and matching. I mean, you can literally 128.2, 128.2. Well, as long as you can find the one count, how do you screw that up? You know what I mean?
I watched Randy play that Nace, just creating a vibe last night for that Nace meeting. I mean, he never put his headphones on because he's just looking at the wave. I was like, that's pretty impressive.
I played Saturday night. When was my gig? Friday night? Whatever it was. I played this past weekend at one of the events where they have speakers built in.
I saw you.
So I just plug in.
Yeah.
But the speakers are far away. So if I feel like it, I usually bring a speaker up for a monitor, but I didn't do that. I was lazy. But what I've come to know is if I start the incoming song about half a beat into the song, then when I hit play, because of the delay on what I'm hearing, it matches up perfectly.
Wow.
I almost thought to myself, I should just create a second cue point for like Clark's Landing cue point. So I'm like a half a beat in.
Right.
I mean, that's how I did most of my mixing on Friday night,
Damn, a delayed mix.
Exactly.
That's pro.
I mean, we can talk about that. We can talk about how easy software makes it.
Well, that's the topic.
We're going to focus. Good.
We're going to get into that next week. So thank you guys for being here this morning.
Wow, I didn't realize we had done a half hour already.
I know.
I was like, why is Joe wrapping up?
I know. I was like, I got some things to do. All right. Thank you guys. Everybody stay safe, and we'll be back next week.
Have a great one.
Thanks, Mike.